And we've got a couple of fun guys here with advice on growing your own edible ones. In a minute, Joe Swift. But let's kick things off with Chris Beardshaw.
They can be beautiful, but deadly. Some fragrant, delicate and edible, and others used to make antibiotics. They make bread rise and put bubbles in beer and champagne. There's no doubt that fungi are amongst the most important and versatile organisms on the planet in terms of their ecological and economic benefits. Gardeners will be most familiar with them because of smuts, rusts and rots. This is a bracket fungus sitting on a rotting stump of wych elm, and it's performing perhaps the most important function of fungi. It's rotting down the solid wood, breaking down the cells, releasing nutrients and making those nutrients available to the plants around it in the garden. And this is a perfect example of where fungi thrive. It's shady, it's cool and it's damp, but it's not the bracket fungi I'm most interested in today, it's the edible ones. There's an extraordinary range of edible mushrooms available to us, from the common field mushroom to things like this, an exotic oyster. And this is growing on a bale of straw, but as you can see, it's almost entirely white, and that's because of the way the organism operates. It's a very simple structure, linear cells arranged in threads called mycelium, and they exist almost entirely beneath the surface, in this case on the bale. That's what gives it its white colour. And it exists underground almost all year round, only popping to the surface to fruit, which is exactly what a mushroom is. It's a fruiting body. Now you can buy kits to do at home, and this is typical of what you get. A bag of fresh straw. You also get a bag of oyster grain, spawn, instructions, polythene sheet, the whole works. What you have to do to start with is to tip boiling water into the bag, a couple of kettlefuls of boiling water. That sterilises the straw, killing any other mycelium that may be present in the straw. Then you break up the spawn, sprinkle it in, and once you've got it all in, give the bag a good shake and seal the bag. Once you've done that, you have to put it somewhere dark and warm, about room temperature, for about 4 weeks. Now, when I was a student, what I used to do is to shove the bales of straw under my bed, which seemed to be the perfect place. Then after 4 weeks, bring it out. 2 nights in a fridge is what's then required, and that just promotes a little bit of fruiting body growth. Then break the bag open, put it onto a tray, keep the tray moist, cover it in a sheet of polythene, and then within 4 to 10 days, you should have your own oyster mushrooms. Now, this isn't the only kit you can get. You can also buy shiitake mushrooms, and they arrive looking a bit like this. It's a dowel peg impregnated with shiitake mycelium. And what you'll need in addition to this is a log from a deciduous tree that's less than a month old. Any deciduous tree will do, except a laburnum, which has toxic sap, and therefore the sap will get into the mushrooms and make the mushrooms poisonous. Once you've found your log, you then need to drill a series of holes. Knock the mycelium-infected dowels into the holes, and then the fungus will do the rest. In a log like this, you can get about 20 or so pegs. And once you've got them dotted amongst the timbers, you have to seal the moisture in on the log. You can do that by covering it in a polythene bag, and then just to go outside. Now, the perfect place for it is where you find fungi growing naturally, which is right next to our bracket fungi, and incidentally, next to the hedgehog hut that Chris Baines did a few weeks ago. So you just drop the bag containing the log in the hedge and then insulate it with leaves. And after 6 to 10 months, you can then pull away the leaves, take the log out of the bag, but leave it in the hedge. And then, when the conditions are perfect, what you'll get is a crop of shiitake mushrooms, and the log will keep cropping for up to 5 years.
But if that all looks a bit too involved, Joe Swift's option could be described as bog standard.
Now, this one is really, really very cheap, but very easy to do. You get a toilet roll, put it on a plate, preferably unbleached toilet roll, definitely white. Put it on a plate, inside a plastic bag. And then you get your kettle, boiling water. It's got to be boiling water. Pour it all over the toilet roll, completely soaking it. You see it's expanding already. Then you let it cool down. Here's one I've done earlier, which is already cooled. End up with something like that, nice and soggy. And then you get these. This is an oyster mushroom, and it's grain that's been coated with oyster mushroom spores. One packet like that will do 2 toilet rolls. You get half of the packet, empty it into your hand, and you literally just place it into the centre of the toilet roll there. Pour it right down the middle. Okay, now that's ready to go. What you do is you seal the plastic bag up now, seal it tight. You leave it for about 2 weeks, and it's going to get the consistency of a sort of maturing Stilton. You'll notice that there's something going on there. It really will start looking a bit mouldy, but then after about 2 weeks, you put it in the fridge to create the reaction, make sure that the mushrooms think that it's autumn and they'll start fruiting. You slice some holes in the side and the mushrooms will start coming out. And basically, out of that, you should get a few good omelettes.
Thanks, Joe.